Hello, my name is Matthias and welcome to the FPL Scope and this video where I'm going to go through every single one of the template picks as we currently stand, 15 of the most popular players in FPL, and I'm going to tell you why each and every one of them suck. Not necessarily actually, because a lot of these players are actually pretty good. Some of these players are players that I have in my current draft as we stand. But the point of this video is trying to look at the downside of each and every one of the popular picks, so I can actually give you some counter arguments to the players that you hear a lot of good things about, basically. So yeah, that's the point of this video. I'm going to go straight into it pretty soon, but first I just wanted to say that this template squad, as you can see right before you right now on your screen, is presented to you on my FPL guide, which I have created, and you're free to go into and look into, because there's a lot of things there, including the template squad. We have several other squads. We also have the starting lineups for each team. We have a lot of different information there on that site, so please check it out at thefplscope.com/FPL guide. You can also find the link in the description. So yeah, these are the 15 players that we have. I can just go through the players first and foremost, say all their names, just to keep you a bit engaged, I guess. Sanchez in goal from Chelsea. He is a popular goalkeeper. Kelleher from Brentford. In defense, we have Virgil van Dijk, we have Wan-Bissaka, we have Ezri Konsa, Destiny Udogie, and Maxim the Cuyper from Brighton last. In the midfield, we have Salah, of course, from Liverpool, Cole Palmer from Chelsea, Morgan Rogers from Aston Villa, Mohamed Kudus from Spurs, and Elliot Anderson from Nottingham Forest, who's really popular, not amongst like the general player base, but amongst people that are super engaged in FPL and know all about the defensive contribution points that Elliot Anderson is going to get this season. They have selected him quite a lot for that price. When it comes to the attackers, I have João Pedro, Chris Wood, and Dominic Solanke as the most popular picks amongst like FPL regulars, basically. And now I'm going to go through each and every one of them and tell you 3 reasons why all of them suck, basically. I'm going to start with the most expensive one, and that is, of course, Mohamed Salah, who's also the most popular one, most likely. And yeah, first and foremost, he is super expensive. That's the one biggest downside, I guess, to Salah. He is 14.5. A lot more expensive than pretty much everyone else in FPL, apart from Erling Haaland, who is 14.0 at the forward position, basically. So yeah, he is really expensive. You really need him to provide the goods, otherwise he will just be a value sink, I guess. And especially also if he keeps up his form from last season. Towards the end of last season, he really struggled. Which he kind of does from time to time, basically. But yeah, also this season is the fact that there are a lot of new players coming into Liverpool. Florian Wirtz is coming, maybe Alexander Isak as well, especially if Isak is coming in. Salah might actually not become a template pick by the end, because a lot of people are, I guess rightly so, thinking that there will be too many cooks, as I've written there on the second note. There will be too many players that will share the goals between them. Last year it was basically Salah who scored every single goal for Liverpool, it seemed like, especially at the first half of the season. He scored pretty much every goal for Liverpool, or at least like 60 or 70% he was involved in terms of goals and assists, basically. But this time around, there's a lot more players like Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike, potentially Alexander Isak, who could take their share of the goals. So Liverpool will score a lot of goals, but it will just be more distributed evenly, probably, between all the players. So that's another reason why Salah could potentially not be as good. Also, number 3, Father Time is undefeated. Salah has been so good for like 8 seasons in a row now, but he is getting older, super old in fact. I say that as someone that's 1 year older than Salah myself. So yeah, I can definitely attest to the fact that you are feeling more hurt and you're not as fit and ready to do anything as you were when you were younger. And that's the case with Salah as well. He's not getting any younger. Maybe this will be the year that he struggles, but most likely, because Salah is just an absolute machine, and I still love him as a pick, and I try to make a case against him, I guess, but it's really tough to do because I think he's really good. Even if Isak comes, I think Salah's pretty good, but yeah, kind of defeating the purpose of my own video now. So let's go back to reasons why he might not be as good. The first 3 game weeks, Bournemouth at home, Newcastle away, Arsenal at home. 3 like pretty difficult sides to play against. I don't think the 3 matches are really all that good. So maybe you can save him and get him in for game week 4 instead, which is going to be really tough to do because he's so much more expensive than anyone else, and you need to sell some. Anyways, he's really good, but he kind of sucks according to this video as well. But let's move on to Cole Palmer. Let's see if there's anyone else, because there are actually a couple picks later on in this video that are players that I think are completely overhyped, and I don't really understand why they're template picks, but Salah is, spoilers, not one of them really. What about Palmer? Cole Palmer. He's actually more someone that I am considering not having from Game Week 1, actually, but he is a really popular pick at 10.5 million. Chelsea have, as you can see, those fixtures there. No really tough fixtures, but at the same time, I'm going straight to the second point now, but no really like standout fixtures either. The really good Chelsea fixtures come from around game week 9 onwards, game week 9 through 12 or 13 or 15 or something. I think they face all the 3 promoted sides in those game weeks. So for the first like 8 game weeks, even like the 2 game weeks beyond these game week 7 and game week 8, they have like Manchester City and Nottingham Forest, I think, in the next following game weeks after game week 6 as well. So out of all these fixtures, like a lot of decent fixtures for sure. At home to Palace, at home to Fulham, at home to Brighton, pretty good. Away to Man United, who knows how good Man United will be. That's a bit up in the air now, how tough that will be. And then 2 pretty easy teams in West Ham and Brentford, but at the same time, they are away from home. So like, it's not completely sure that Palmer is going to be super, super good from the start of the season. Also, he was in really poor form towards the end of last season. He had, 1 goal from a penalty and 3 assists in the last 16 games. So no open play goals from the last 16 games of the Premier League season last year. That's not good at all. But yeah, he did impress in the Club World Cup, but at the same time, he also had to play in the Club World Cup, which was an extension of last season. So maybe fatigue will settle in, maybe the new kind of way of doing a preseason, because this is not usual to have the Club World Cup after the previous season or like in between. Maybe that will mess up with the rhythm of Palmer as well, and maybe that will make him not as good this season. So yeah, those are 3 reasons for why Palmer might not be that good, but he's also pretty expensive, so there might be some better value picks as well. But yeah, those are the 3 main reasons why you shouldn't pick Palmer, I guess, as well. You can always wait until like game week 9 when he has that really good run to bring him in, and until that point you can stay away from him. Salah actually overlaps pretty well with Palmer in that regard, because Salah has some pretty tough fixtures around like game week 9 onwards as well. So it could be like a Salah to Palmer situation as well, if you want to go with Salah rather than Palmer. Or if you want to go with both, sure, go ahead. But yeah. Let's move on to the 3rd most expensive player. And we're actually going down quite a bit in price here, because we have 3 forwards at 7.5 in this template squad. One of them is Dominic Solanke, who I think is the most popular forward out of everyone in terms of like the engaged FPL managers. I know João Pedro is the most owned player in the game. We're getting to him, don't worry. But Solanke is a really huge fan favorite amongst content creators and stuff like that, especially. But yeah, Solanke already having some injury issues in preseason. He had injury issues last season. He's had some injury issues in the past as well. Actually, like when making this, I was kind of like thinking back of like how Solanke was viewed when he was a Liverpool reject, or like Chelsea and Liverpool reject, basically. He was getting clowned on and stuff. So it's kind of crazy that he sort of revitalized his career in Bournemouth. But he was kind of back to his old ways, I guess, with Spurs last season. I say Spurs struggled there. Both Spurs and Solanke struggled last season. He wasn't really that good at all. So maybe that will continue as well. I know a lot of people are thinking that Thomas Frank is coming in and that will solve every problem for Spurs. But at the same time, who knows? Solanke has had a pretty poor season after getting a major price tag on him, so there will be a lot of pressure. If he doesn't contribute straight away, especially if he doesn't score against Burnley in the first game, then he has Man City away in the second game. If he blanks in those 2 first game weeks, who knows how that will affect his psyche, basically. They have some other striker potential there as well, with Richarlison and Mathis Tel, who I think are really talented, both players there. But obviously Solanke is the main guy for now. Also, I don't think doubling up on Spurs is the best idea. We actually have a double up here with both Kudus and Solanke in the template team, because they're both really popular, but usually it's one or the other. I don't think it's that smart to double up on 2 players from the team that finished 17th last season, basically. And Kudus is just cheaper. He's 1 million cheaper, could be better, could have higher upside as well. But we'll also get to why Kudus might not be the best either as well in this video, why he might suck. But yeah, that is the case against Solanke, I guess, those 3 issues right there. Let's move on to the guy I had just mentioned, João Pedro for Chelsea. The one major thing about João Pedro is the rotation risk. Who knows? Chelsea just brought in Liam Delap, and he's going to play quite a lot as a striker for sure. And yes, João Pedro has the ability to play behind the striker, but who plays there for Chelsea? Cole Palmer, who's going to play every game. That's not one of the drawbacks to Palmer. He's actually going to play every game. That's not the thing for João Pedro. He's going to be a rotation risk both in terms of starts and in terms of minutes as well. Like, he's going to be susceptible to be subbed off after 70, 60 minutes just about. So that might affect his points ability as well, especially seeing as, like I said, with Palmer, these first fixtures aren't like super good, like in terms of like the super standout fixtures. You don't have any other newly promoted sides here to play against. Also, João Pedro last season, he was kind of impressive at times for Brighton, but he was also kind of a pen merchant, with 5 out of his 10 goals being penalties last season for Brighton. That's a huge share of his goals last season. Now, obviously, again, Cole Palmer is going to be in the way. He's going to take penalties for Chelsea, so João Pedro won't have those penalties, and that will sort of dampen his appeal as well. He was much cheaper last season. He was what 5.5 last season for Brighton. Now he's 2 million more, and he's so popular all of a sudden because of a couple goals in the Club World Cup. Yeah, I don't know. Preseason is normally not like the best in terms of the seeing which players are going to be good in the future, but I guess people give some credence to the Club World Cup because there were a lot of big teams involved, I guess. But yeah. And third, like, can we actually trust Chelsea like properly? Like, they are really like an up and down team. They usually don't have the same manager for more than one season. So now that Maresca has been there for one season, can we actually trust them to be really good this season? Maybe. A lot of people had them as the fourth best team, potentially going up against the top three in Man City, Arsenal, and Liverpool, contending against them. But I don't really know. Chelsea are a bit all over the place, and they haven't really been that good consistently under Todd Bowley's ownership. So yeah, I'm not sure if we can completely trust Chelsea either. I'm a little bit unsure about that in terms of FPL as well. So yeah, that's the case against João Pedro and why he might potentially suck. Let's move on to the third forward. That is Chris Wood. And the main thing for Chris Wood, I think, is just the Forest regression. Like, Nottingham Forest were really good last season. This season, they're going to be in the Europa League most likely, potentially Conference League, depending on what happens with Crystal Palace. But they're going to have European competition, which is just going to hamper them eventually around that time when they get game week 5, game week 6, when they have those easier fixtures. And in general, like, they just struggled towards the end of last season, and especially Wood as well. Like, the goals dried up last season. He was not scoring that many goals towards the end of last season. So that could be the same case again. And like we just watched, there's two other really popular 7.5 options. A lot of people just want two 7.5 forwards and want a really cheap one. So there's a lot of other good options, both around that same price. I think Jared Bowen for 8 million, Evan Nelson for 7 million for the entirety of the season are going to be really, really good. And also early season, Bowen's going to be really, really good for 8.0 as well. And there's other 7.5 forwards as well. Wan-Bissaka, if he goes to Newcastle or if he stays with Brentford, he could be a really good pick as well. There are some other really good 7.5 assets as well. So yeah, Nottingham Forest, not quite sure what to make of Nottingham Forest this season. Chris Wood might not get the same amount of points as last year when he was completely overperforming his expected goals and stuff like that as well. So yeah, not entirely too confident in Chris Wood. So we'll see what happens this season. But yeah, this video kind of got more serious than I thought it was going to be because, yeah. But anyways, let's move on to the next player. That's going to be Morgan Rogers. And yeah, this is where we kind of get a bit more unserious because, honestly, Rogers is one of my favorite players this season. But I'm going to try to make the case for why he sucks this year. First of all, he is a yellow card machine. He got like 10 yellow cards last season. That is in danger of getting suspended and all that stuff. We don't really like that. That's also less bonus points. Everything that comes with it. Also, when he gets a lot of yellow cards, he can also get 2 yellow cards in the same match and get suspended, and that's really annoying because you have to sell him potentially, and he might get those 2 yellow cards right before the Sunderland game, for example, and miss the Sunderland game. So yeah, who knows with that. Also, he is known, after one season, he's known as an FPL troll. A lot of people had him last season where whenever they benched him, he did really well, and whenever they played him, he did badly. So that could happen again, I guess, if you somehow manage to bench him, even though you've bought him in for 7.0 and he has really good fixtures. So yeah, again, I don't really have too much against Rogers. The third point, I just couldn't find a third negative with him. So I'm just saying he's too smooth with it. He is a really fun player to watch. He's really good. And yeah, he doesn't really suck. But yeah, couldn't really make that big of a case against him. So let's move on to the next player. This is much easier, however. I'm a West Ham fan. For full disclosure, Kudus played for West Ham last season. Even last season, I trashed Kudus for being terrible. As I've written there, number 1, aesthetics merchant. I think he's completely overrated just because he looks good on the football pitch in terms of dribbling and like keeping people off the ball. Like, he does a lot of highlight type of stuff. But then the end product just isn't quite there. Like, first season for West Ham, pretty good for sure. But second season, like, he was really bad last season. And yes, it's a bad West Ham team. Jared Bowen got almost 200 points in FPL last season. So it's not just that. Like, Kudus was atrocious last season. So there's no reason why he should be like amazing straight away this season. Also, like, overall in FPL as well, the last 2 seasons, both the first season at West Ham when he was good and last season, he had pretty bad underlying stats. Like, he is not the one that gets a lot of like expected goals and expected assists and stuff because he's not really that productive. He's more, like I said, more like an aesthetics type of guy. Like, he's more like a dribbler, fun to watch type of player than someone that's actually contributing to points and goals and all that stuff as well. So yeah, those are the 2 main reasons. Third as well, I had the point about on Solanke's page. I had the point that Kudus is cheaper, but I think Solanke is just better because he takes penalties. He's going to play further forward as well. He's more nailed. Kudus, that's another thing with him. He's not completely nailed, especially when it comes to Kulusevski being back eventually. Madison could play there as well. Who knows with Thomas Frank, who's going to be playing at first. Kudus as well hasn't really played well in a long time. Last season was terrible, so maybe he needs some more time to get up to speed, if he ever can get up to speed. So yeah, I'm not completely sold on Kudus at 6.5. So yeah, maybe he's not the best pick, but at the same time, he is currently in my draft, even though I just trashed him. But yeah, he has good fixtures and all that stuff, but who knows with Kudus. He was terrible last season, and he went from West Ham to Spurs, and I can never forgive him. So yeah, he is not my favorite player currently. Let's move on to the first defender of the whole thing. That is Virgil van Dijk, who is the most popular 6.0 defender, I think, now among like engaged FPL managers. I know Frimpong, who I'll get to, as you see, point number 2 there, is more selected from the overall player base. Him and Aït-Nouri and a couple other defenders are slightly more selected in the overall player base, but I think amongst engaged FPL managers who have looked into the defensive contribution points and stuff, they prefer Van Dijk because of the security in terms of starts and those extra points that we'll get now this season from defensive contributions especially. But with Van Dijk, like I said with Salah, the first three matches aren't that easy. Like Bournemouth at home, Newcastle away, Arsenal at home. Not necessarily game weeks where you expect clean sheets for Liverpool. So you can always wait until game week 4. You can have someone a bit better in terms of fixtures for the first 3 game weeks, and then switch to Van Dijk or potentially Frimpong in game week 4. Because Frimpong, a lot of people have said that he's not nailed, he's not going to play, all that stuff. He didn't actually start in the friendly match now against Yokohama in Asia. But he did come on and he got an assist straight away. So Frimpong could have more upside because he is just an offensive beast. If Frimpong plays regularly for the same price, I think he's going to outscore Van Dijk. And the same could be said for Kirkus as well at left back. He is someone that could bomb forward. We've seen that in the past with Liverpool and Andy Robertson. Kirkus can sort of be a Robertson regen who has been also really, really good in the past. Usually Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold were better picks than Van Dijk, even though they were more expensive than Van Dijk. And yes, there are defensive contribution points now, but that is also just like 20 plus points for the entirety of the season, basically, for Van Dijk. So that doesn't really make much of a difference either. Like, it makes a difference, but like over the long term, not in the short term, basically. So yeah, Frimpong might have better upside. And like I said, there are a couple of other really good 6.0 options. Aït-Nouri, if he plays every match, or a lot of matches, Guardiola could be really good, Gabriel could be really good, Saliba could be really good, Cucurella could be really good. There's a lot of good 6.0 options. Murillo from Nottingham Forest gets a lot of extra defensive contribution points as well, 20 more than Van Dijk. On top of that as well, like 40 plus points potentially, defensive contributions. Murillo, he is a defensive beast. There's a lot of good options for that price, and a lot of good options with better fixtures in the first 3 especially. So that's why Van Dijk is also someone that you maybe should have second thoughts about. But again, he's someone that is also in my current draft. So yeah, there are downsides to every player basically, but there are maybe some more reasons for concerns with some of them. That's what I'm trying to produce or represent or present even in this video for you guys basically. So yeah, let's move on to the next player. That is Elliot Anderson for 5.5 in midfield. And first of all, again, the same as with Chris Wood, we expect Nottingham Forest to be worse this season. They had like the best possible season last year. And I think that also contributed to the defensive contribution points, which is making Anderson really popular. Like the main reason why he's super popular now is the fact that he got like around 30 defensive contribution points last season. He's also potentially taking more set pieces this year for Nottingham Forest. But I think last season was like the perfect storm for Nottingham Forest. They took the lead early, quite a lot of matches, and just had that lead and played defensively and racked up a lot of defensive contribution points that way as well. Not necessarily actually, like defensive contribution points are a bit more complex than just being a defensive side. You get more of them. Like it is not that straightforward, but Anderson had a lot of defensive contribution points in games where he didn't really produce anything else in terms of goals and assists, because he only got like 2 goals and 6 assists last year. Not that interesting. And yeah, that's the thing. I've written there, DEFCON points benched. Like, if you have a player that plays every single game week, you're going to get all those defensive contribution points. But with Anderson, you're going to likely just play him in those really good matches and going to bench him for the tougher matches, like the matches against Arsenal, against Crystal Palace away, for example. Probably even against Brentford or West Ham if you have other players that are more explosive. I think you should bench him because honestly, like, yes, he might get 2 extra points from the defensive contribution points, but he's not going to get much more than that either. So over the long haul, over the course of the season, he's going to get more points, but those points are most likely going to be when you're going to want to bench him because you're going to have more explosive, more fun options to use. I think that's going to settle in pretty early in the season as well, like choosing people for defensive contribution points when they don't really return, both in terms of defensive contributions, because they usually do it 50% of the time, but also because they don't provide any goals for assists. It's going to be so unexciting, like I've written there on the second point. You're going to just be so bored of playing them and just think like, I want someone that scores goals. This is not exciting for me. I think that's like the biggest negative to DEFCON points. We haven't really experienced it so far. We only have the theory of what DEFCON points represents, or defense contribution points represents. And I think in theory, it's more fun to watch than it is going to be collecting those extra 40 points when you actually get them, because it's going to be like a slow drip of points throughout the season. And like I said, I think a lot of these defensive contribution points are going to be benched with a guy like Anderson, who you're going to bench most game weeks. You're looking to get points from the Burnley and Sunderland games. Like, those are exciting because you can get goals and assists. If you're someone like Adingra, for example, if you're playing against Burnley in game week 2 for the same price, 5.5, you expect them to potentially get a goal or two, potentially. So from the first like 13 games, if you play Anderson in like 4 of them, and he gets contribution points in every single one of them, which is also really unlikely, especially against these easier teams as well. So that's the other thing. Like, who knows? Maybe he gets the two defensive contributions points against Arsenal when you bench him, and he doesn't get them against Burnley and Sunderland, who are playing or easier teams to play against, where he doesn't need to contribute as much defensively. Like, I don't think the defensive contribution points are just like add more points easily, and especially in the short term. Like in the long term, yes, but short term, no. So yeah, but I went too far on him because I just want to go quickly through each player because I tend to speak too much on this video. So let's move on to the next guy. In goal, we have Robert Sanchez for 5.0, the final or the only 5.0 player we have here. And yeah, the first reason why Sanchez might suck is the fact that he actually might suck. Like, he is not the best goalkeeper. I've written error prone. He's made some mistakes. He was actually dropped midway through last season as the goalkeeper. I know, because I had him in FPL. I have too many bad experiences with Sanchez, especially last season for Chelsea. He was actually dropped from the first 11 because he made so many mistakes and he wasn't that good for Jurgensen, who's the backup goalkeeper. And he got his place back because Jurgensen was also terrible. But yeah, that's why I don't really trust Sanchez that much, because he is someone that was the third choice goalkeeper at Brighton behind Verbruggen and Steele, two goalkeepers who aren't really the best. And then he went to Chelsea and somehow he became the first goalkeeper in amongst like 8 different goalkeepers that Chelsea have. And at times he's been good, but at times he's been really bad as well. So he could make some mistakes early, could actually lose his spot potentially. So yeah, I don't really trust him as my only goalkeeper, because if you go with a 5.0 goalkeeper, you probably go with a 4.0 backup, and currently there are no 4.0 backups that play minutes regularly as a goalkeeper in the Premier League. So yeah, I think it's a bit risky when it comes to maybe making some mistakes early on, Sanchez, especially if Chelsea get a bit more like, there's a lot of pressure on Chelsea now. Like, they have a lot of wind in their sails after winning the Club World Cup, but if they struggle early in these easy fixtures, people might be scapegoating Sanchez if he makes a mistake or two, so maybe he'll get dropped. That could be the case. And Chelsea as well, they kind of always concede once. I remember last season I had Sanchez from game week 6 until like game week 20 or something. They conceded very few goals in that time, but they conceded like 1 goal every single game, it seemed like. Kind of like City back in the day. Like, they always find a way to concede. They might win the game 2-1, but they always find a way to concede, and that's kind of Chelsea in a nutshell last season. Except for the end of last season. I think they got like 7 clean sheets in the last like 12 games or something, and that's why Sanchez is quite popular, because Chelsea had good underlying numbers. And I'm not going to get into the good reasons why you should have Sanchez. Wait for my other videos for that, but this video is why he is possibly not the best goalkeeper to have. And again, he also wastes a Chelsea spot. Maybe if Chelsea go bonkers early on and are really good, maybe you want Cole Palmer, maybe you want João Pedro, maybe you want Cucurella, who are more explosive, better picks. Like, if you want those 3 guys, you can't have Sanchez at the same time, because you can't have 4 players from each team. So it kind of wastes a Chelsea spot. I think Chelsea have way more upside, and a goalkeeper is someone that you're not necessarily looking for upside. You're looking for continuity and someone that can get you points each and every game week. So yeah, it kind of wastes a Chelsea spot there if Chelsea are truly that good. And even if they are truly that good, they might win every game 4-1 and Sanchez concedes and you don't get any points from your third Chelsea asset, which would really suck, basically. So yeah, that's why he sucks as well. Second goalkeeper as well, let's just go to the goalkeeper, since we're at the 4.5 price mark, which is the cheapest we have in this video. Kelleher from Kelleher from Ireland, and also from Brentford now. He's moved from Liverpool to Brentford. First and foremost, he has left Liverpool, so he's not a Liverpool goalkeeper. I guess people know that already, but he's gone to Brentford, who are already like a pretty bad team. They have pretty bad matches, as you can see. Game week 1 away to Nottingham Forest, not the best match. Aston Villa at home, game week 2, not the best match. Sunderland in game week 3 is nice, but if you're like me and you are using free hit in game week 3, you can just put him in anyway if he's not your starting goalkeeper. After that, Chelsea at home, again, not the best fixture. Fulham away, not the best fixture. Man United at home, it is listed as like a light blue fixture, one of the easier fixtures, but we don't know. Man United might be really good this season. Maybe they turn it around the second season under Amorim, the second full season at least under Amorim. So yeah, who knows about that either. So the fixtures just are quite bad, like bad opening fixtures in general. So I don't really understand why Kelleher is that highly owned among the 4.5 goalkeepers, because yeah, Brentford are looking pretty bad. A lot of people are expecting them to be potentially relegated without Thomas Frank, without Mbuemo, without potentially Wissa now as well. Also like bad opening fixtures. And also Kelleher, I know a lot of people have like have good feelings about him as a goalkeeper because he played for Liverpool and sort of covered Alisson like admirably in several matches, but at the same time Liverpool were really, really good, so they weren't really expecting to concede many goals. And when you look at like underlying stats, like expected goals conceded compared to how many goals Kelleher actually conceded, he actually conceded more than his expected goals conceded would curtail basically. So yeah, maybe he's a little bit overrated just because he played for Liverpool. That might be the case as well. So yeah, I don't really know. I think he's more like a big name because he played for a big team, but he plays for a really bad side and potentially a really bad side, because I think Brentford will struggle this season with pretty bad opening fixtures. So yeah, I don't really understand why he's the main guy at the 4.5 price point for goalkeepers. So yeah, that's why Kelleher kind of sucks as well. Next up, also another player that I don't really understand at all why he's like such a popular pick. Ezri Konsa. Aston Villa's defense has never really been that great. Like a couple seasons back, I think they got like 12, 13 clean sheets, which is pretty good. But after that, they've gotten less than 10 clean sheets the last 2 seasons. They don't really get that many clean sheets. They do keep conceding a 1 goal or 2 goals, kind of like Chelsea. Like they concede goals pretty much every game, it seems like. So yeah, defensively, not the best in terms of clean sheet points as well. And it might be even worse because Emi Martinez really wants to leave Aston Villa. He has tried to almost force a move. He wants to leave. He's not even playing game week 1 either against Newcastle, which is also a really tough fixture, especially if we want to bench boost. I don't really understand why I go with Konsa, because he's most likely going to concede in that game as well against Newcastle, I would suspect at least. And also, like, he's not even good for goals or assists or even defensive contribution points. He got 4 defensive contributions points last season. Why is he such a popular pick? I don't understand it. Truly, we found like a player that I don't like at all. There's so many good 4.5 defenders, which I'll get to at some other point. I'll actually talk about it tomorrow in my video talking about my draft, because I have 3 4.5 defenders, or I have 4 4.5 defenders, but 2 of them are actually going to come up in this video as well. But the next 2 picks, or 2 of the next 3 picks, but. Anyways, like I have 3 players that are not in the template picks for 4.5 who are really, really good potentially for the rest of the season as well. So yeah, I think there's a lot of good assets at 4.5, and I don't think Konsa is among them really, because Aston Villa, yes, they have pretty nice fixtures to start the season. Not incredible either. Like Newcastle at home, sure, Newcastle are pretty good usually. Brentford, it is away, so could concede in that game. Crystal Palace, they have a lot of good offensive players. Everton away in their new stadium, that's going to be kind of tough. Sunderland is a good fixture, of course, but Sunderland also making some good signings, I guess. And then Fulham at home in game week 6, which is also a decent fixture for clean sheets, I guess. But I don't think there's that much to love about Konsa. It's pretty easy to make this. I would struggle more to find 3 good reasons to pick Konsa than 3 good reasons, or 3 good reasons to not pick Konsa, basically. So yeah, don't really understand this pick at all. So that's why Konsa sucks. Next up, Destiny Udogie. I did mention that I have a couple of these players in my squad, and Udogie is currently in my squad. But it seems like maybe because he's already now injured with a knee injury, and he is really injury prone as well. Going straight to the number 2 point here, but yeah, Udogie, he's been injured both of his first 2 seasons in the Premier League, played between 20 and 30 matches. So he hasn't really been that good. He was really good when he first joined the Premier League. He had some really nice assists and goals. I was actually really high on him that season, 2 seasons ago, when I finished inside the top 10k, as you can see there above me, by the way. Just a little humble brag there. But I was really a big fan of him when he came into the Premier League, because he had a lot of good numbers from the Serie A. But in the Premier League, hasn't really been that good. Even though he's had a license to go forward under Postecoglou, hasn't really gotten that many goals and assists either. Like he did at the start of his Premier League career, but after that, he's been marred by injuries, not having much goal threat, and also the Spurs defense just not being that great and conceding a lot of goals. And I think that could still be the case. Like they have so many injuries usually, but they also, like, even when they're all playing, they still concede a lot of goals. Spurs. So who knows if that will change under Thomas Frank? Maybe, but that's not a sure thing. So yeah, there are a couple of reasons to be against Udogie or any Spurs defender for that matter. You can say Van de Ven as well, who's also pretty popular. I think like mostly people have one Spurs defender, whether it's Van de Ven or Udogie, but both of them are kind of struggling with injury issues a lot of the time. They're not the best for goals and assists threat, really. They're not even the best for defensive contributions points either, I think, from what I remember. But I don't have to look more into those numbers. So yeah, they're not like a sure thing. They do have good matches, of course. That's why a lot of people are picking them. They have that potentially really high upside because Spurs are usually a team you would expect to be in the top 6 or at least in the top 10. And 4.5 defenders from those teams are are players that are really players that you want to have in your team, basically, is what I'm trying to say, basically. But yeah, there are a couple of reasons to be worried about Udogie as well, as one of your 4.5 defenders. Next up, we have Maxim de Cuyper from Brighton. And first of all, with Brighton, they have pretty bad fixtures. Not even just like the first 6 you can see here. Not that many good standout fixtures, though the game against Everton as well in Game 2 is the first game Everton have at their home ground, their new home ground. They're definitely going to score in that game. Fulham at home is decent in Game Week 1, so if you want him for a bench boost and then just have him for the rest of the season, I guess that's fine. But if you're not bench boosting in Game Week 1, I think there are better options for sure. And I don't think bench boosting in Game Week 1 is too good either. I have several more than 3 reasons for that as well, but I'll take that. I'll mention that in a different video than this. But yeah, really tough fixtures for Brighton, not for only in the first 6, but for like the first 10, 12 game weeks. They have really tough fixtures overall. Not that many good matches at all, like barely any. They face most of the promoted sides really late in the season or like later on in the first half of the season. So yeah, bad fixtures. Brighton rotation as well. People are saying that the Cuyper is going to be like 100% nailed because he's playing at left back. But at the same time, Brighton have like maybe a gajillion right backs or people that could potentially play at right back, from Baleba to Hinchelwood to Weaver to Veltman to like Lamptey. Like they have so many players that could potentially play at right back. And they also have Kadioglu, who is going to be their starting right back most likely. But if they play one of those other guys at right back, the next best thing for Kadioglu, he actually has played a lot of left back in his career, so he could also play left back. So Brighton are one of the teams that rotate the most in the Premier League. So I'm not completely sure if the Cuyper is going to be like a nailed-on player either for them, because they just rotate so much and they have so many fullback options basically, especially on the right, but also on the left if Kadioglu goes over to the left. So yes, Estupiñán has left. And there's another space opened on the left back side, but there's no like guarantee that the Cuyper is going to play every game either. So yeah. Also, just like fullbacks under Hörsler, like a lot of people are like, oh yes, he's now the starting left back. He's super offensive, and he's the starting left back in like a three at the back formation most likely. But if you watch Brighton like the last 2 seasons as well, Estupiñán is the same profile as the Cuyper. He's really attacking. He has so many good attacking assets. Estupiñán, he was so good back in the day in FPL as well. He was like a cult hero in FPL. But the last 2 seasons, or last season I should say, under Hörsler, he played like 30 matches, Estupiñán, and he didn't really get that many offensive contributions. So I think the same could be said for the Cuyper. Like if he plays every game, he might not even get that many offensive contributions, because it seems like under Hörsler, the fullbacks don't really get that many points in general, or goals and assists in general. So yeah, I think he might be a little bit of a trap, especially seeing as there's less defensive contribution points for fullbacks. So you need someone that is guaranteed points when it comes to goals and assists at fullback. And I'm not sure the Cuyper is that type of guy. So yeah, that's why there might be some issues with him as well. Let's move on to the final guy. I saved the best for last, I should say, because Aaron Wan-Bissaka obviously plays for West Ham, my favorite team. I'm also a huge fan of Wan-Bissaka. He is amazing, so I wanted to talk about him the last because that's when a lot of people have clicked off the video because I'm mumbling like this, for example. But yeah, so I'll save Wan-Bissaka for last because I don't really want to disparage him too much. But I'm not really too afraid to disparage West Ham, because West Ham are just absolutely awful. Last season especially, they are one of the candidates to go down. So that's why Wan-Bissaka, clean sheets are not going to be like a major thing for West Ham, most likely. Who knows? Maybe West Ham will actually turn it around and be a lot better this season. But yeah, if last season is anything to go by, not so much. And defensive contributions, like we all expect Wan-Bissaka to get some defensive contribution points. It seems like natural, like he is such a good tackler. He's someone that intercepts. Like whenever you close your eyes and imagine like Wan-Bissaka doing something on a football pitch, it's usually a defensive contribution. But that's not how he has been used at West Ham. He's been super offensive, attacking minded, and he's been really good offensively as well. Like surprisingly so. Like people said that he can't play offensively, but for West Ham, he's been so good offensively, really, and defensively. Like he's a good player, but FPL wise, maybe not so much. I think he's a really good pick. I have him in my own squad for what it's worth. But yeah, there are some reasons to be worried, especially with West Ham both truly sucking, as I've written on the third point as well. But also like some of the fixtures are pretty bad as well early season. Sunderland is really nice. But the rest of the fixtures are a bit so-and-so, especially for a defender. Chelsea and Spurs, you would expect to score against West Ham, because Palace always score a lot of goals against West Ham. Everton away at their new home ground, they usually score against West Ham as well. So yeah, clean sheets will be kind of hard to come by for West Ham. So yeah, maybe Wan-Bissaka won't be the best either. So yeah, those are 3 reasons why all 15 of the most popular, or like 15 of the most popular players, the current template squad, suck, basically. I've tried to make the case for some of them, but some of them are obviously my team and I do enjoy them very much. So yeah, this was my one chance to be like a negative Nancy for some players that I really like. So that will be the end of it. I'm not going to speak badly about Salah and Wan-Bissaka especially ever again, because I think they're great usually, but that was not the point of this video. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of fun to make, kind of fun to go through as well. Slightly more lighthearted than all the other the videos that I have lately that have been really like info based, and I've talked a mile a minute and spoken for like an hour. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, really fun to make videos for you guys. It's going really well with the channel and everything, so looking forward to more videos being produced. So you're gonna get another one tomorrow, which is gonna be about my like outlook for the first like 10-13 game weeks, where I'm trying to save my wildcard until game week 13, and I'm gonna go through some of the transfers that I'm already sort of planning out, and also teasing a little bit about a player that I think is going to be a cheat code this season as well. Not necessarily for game week 1, but eventually this season. So stay tuned for that in tomorrow's video, where I'm going to tease it even a little bit more and mention the player in that video, basically. So yeah, subscribe for more, like the video if you liked this video, or if you watched all the way through. I think this deserves a like if that's the case. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video, like I've said already. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.